Good evening, everyone. I hope I'm audible to all. This is Shashwat here from Design Teenage. So, after the NATA second attempt exam today, we are here to discuss all about, how the exam went for some of our students. In general, the session is being live streamed on YouTube. So, people who are watching it live on YouTube, you guys can also share your experience that how did the exam go for you? What all was there? And apart from that, we will also try to discuss that if there was any change in question pattern in comparison to the first attempt exam or so. So Arya, we have Arya and Sneha over here. Arya and Sneha, can you just turn on your video? Okay, fine. So yeah, you can start one by one sharing your experiences. How did the exam go for you? Meanwhile, I guess two or other three people will also join in for this particular session. So let's start with Arya. After that, I will come to Sneha.
Let Neha go first because she had given the first attempt, right? So we'll discuss the comparison. Let her go first, then I will tell.
Not at all a problem. She informed her exam went too good. So I wanted let's first discuss with you that okay, what are the problems you faced? Anyways, we will go with her itself. First of all, Sneha, tell first attempt I guess you prepared all of your own, right? It was a complete self study. So
Yes.
just tell first attempt how much you got, what was the experience in first attempt, followed by what are the changes you have got in this attempt in terms of paper, in terms of your preparation which you did here, and what suggestions do you have?
So for the first attempt, I did it on my own. I was doing it, but then I was not doing it consistently. So a day before, I just went through all the design principles and I went for the exam. And there also, I didn't fully use my mind. I just fluked all the questions without using we sometimes uh, think
Can you
about it
lower the
even if you're
camera a
not
bit,
getting the answer.
your face is visible? Can you just lower it a bit? Yeah, it's a good view now. You can talk now.
So then that time I just fluked all the questions and design principles were also not that good. I thought I'm getting the questions, but later when I checked the answer, they were all wrong. English I got it at that time, and today's English was also easy. Today's paper, firstly went for the paper and on the
Okay, just let me ask you two more things before we come to today's discussion. One is that first attempt, how much you got? I guess 98, if I'm not very wrong.
97.
97, yeah. So, if someone, for example, next year, just for someone is watching this session right now, or will be watching this in the upcoming days. So next year, if someone is willing to prepare of their own, what are your suggestions for them? See, I completely understand. There will be some people telling 97 is not a really good score out of 200 in NATA.
Yeah.
But just on an assumption, if someone is willing to prepare, so what was your mode of preparation for the first attempt? Like what all things you went through, you bought any books, you saw some for example, you did some aptitude questions and you practiced them a bit, or what was the mode of preparation and how did it go for you? You watched some lectures on YouTube?
For the first attempt, in the beginning of the 12th standard only, I had got one book. It was from NATA 2023 preparation, Learn ka publication something. So that was the book. In that book, that is the
go by you went through some books, because in terms of as an organization, we will not take any name. You can just tell that you have gone through books, and most importantly, what are the kind of things you have practiced for the first attempt exam? Like you went through for example, you did the aptitude questions more, or what all you did and what were the mistakes you feel that you have done in your first attempt exam. I guess that will be more of a thing that everyone would like to hear. I'm really sorry I'm interrupting you, but this is the kind of discussion we are going to have today. So interactive one. I will be interrupting you. We will be having a discussion again coming back. Okay, I will give you now 2-3 minutes of time. You can talk whatever you want to tell about first attempt. Then we will come for this attempt.
For the first attempt, I went through some books and I also saw some lectures on YouTube. And for the first attempt, I felt like maths is for 25 to 30 marks. It is like easy math only, but then the reason that it is easy, I didn't pay much attention to that thing. Like I kept it for the last moment, and at the last moment, even though it was easy, I couldn't do it. So for maths, I think like we should prepare. Like it's easy only 9th, 10th standard ka, but then we keep it till the last moment and then we don't get it.
Got it. And so like these are the things you did. So first of all, in paper comparison, what is your overview in terms of like comparing both the papers, first attempt, second attempt? Are there any changes? What are the basic things you have seen? Like how did it go for you in the second? First of all, just tell how did the second attempt go for you? What are the paper pattern changes? Second thing, and what are the changes you have felt like you have prepared over here for one of the attempts. So how did it go for you? What are the things you have learned? If there are any things that you want us to improve, you can share that over here as well on this live session.
No, like the preparation was quite good here. Like it's an like absolute honest opinion, because the design principles, I saw your videos. Like I went through quite a few places like YouTube, and I went through a lot of resources, but then design principle, like they were damn clear here. Which you taught me. I guess I told you in the first lecture also, like it's my least favorite topic, but then the way you taught it, I
But
liked
we
it.
just want to understand.
Yeah, so that was the thing, and like it was like very good. Like we got the main things in the very less time span, which were really important for the exam. So
Okay.
that was the thing. For the paper pattern, I don't think there's any major change. It was like similar to the first attempt only, but only thing I felt was the first attempt was a bit hard. I don't know, because I didn't prepare for it much, something like that. But second attempt was easy.
Okay. And like this attempt, like what are your expectations from this attempt, and like how did it go for you in terms of previous attempt you got around 97. So what are you expecting in this attempt? And most importantly, like why are you expecting that? This will be the question. Okay, I will come back to you. Like before discussing that, why what are you expecting, and like why are you expecting that? We will come back to you for that. Before that, I would like to go to Arya. Now, let's start with third part of discussion. Arya, you have not given the first attempt. This is the first time you're writing NATA, right?
Yes.
Okay, so I guess before writing this attempt, you have already written 2-3 attempts. So, have you felt any changes in terms of our exam portal where you have written the mock test, or and in comparison with the exam portal via which NATA has taken the tests? Are there any changes that you have felt that we should improve, or that has become a major change in terms of you giving the exam at the NATA center and you giving the exam over here back at our exam portal for mock test?
Okay, so today's paper was like going really tough because it was like a proper blend of architectural styles and all of that, the general knowledge and current affair things, and with the perfect blend of mathematics. So, as like I have given the mock test, which was the previous year paper, like this year, it was first attempts paper. So I feel that first attempts paper was a bit easier than today's.
Okay, so in the mock test, what you have seen. So,
Yeah.
like, what are the problems you faced? Which brings you to the conclusion that first attempt paper was like comparatively easier and this one is a bit harder. Can you just
Maybe,
talk about that a bit?
yeah.
In terms of
Maybe,
question, if you remember something, let's talk about that as well.
okay. So there were like many principle of designs questions, and which I got it from, like I have watched so many YouTube videos, and it does not clear the videos on YouTube don't clear your concept on principle of designs. So you have to go in really depth, and there were many questions about on principle of design. And then there was a questions on mathematics, like Sneha told, we need practice, but I have done many of the mathematics questions,
Okay.
like almost every question of mathematics. So in today's paper, I felt that the architectural styles or many things related to architectural styles where are
Absolutely.
and
One
they
more
will.
important thing which you have seen coming in previous year, this year, still now, till now we have not seen it is the temple architecture. The introduction of different, plans of different temples and identifying where is the mandapa, where is the garbhagriha, these kind of questions came last year. So talking about that, that is there. Now again, I would like to go back to Sneha and talk about, like, what are your expectations from this exam? How much are you expecting? Just give a number.
Like, I'll give you a range because
don't give us huge range where, like, don't tell me 0 to 200. That's also a range.
I expect around like 145, 140 to 145.
Great.
140.
Like I told you the range before, 120 to 150.
Yeah, after you wrote the exam and you gave us a call, I guess we heard from you 120 to 160. Now that's a pretty, like, no one will be able to understand. Okay, see, 120 and
Get shocked
different scales,
if I
right?
get less marks.
Yes, no, 120 and 160 both are having different scales actually. Like if you get 120, I will say, okay, it's decent, but third attempt, you will have to keep a target of 180. So it comes down to 160, 170 or somewhere around that. But if you tell 160, then it's definitely a good score as compared to this year's first attempt results. And 180 is always a target I tell, like, we don't never give any kind of, like, targets which are never reachable or possible, because see, out of 200, if I tell keep a target of 200, that's not a real fact, right? But getting 180 is possible. Like, it's not like that, like, it is not reachable, and students have reached in the past, not about just in the past, because it might, like, take us back to the COVID year and talk about that, okay, that time 190 was also a score. But we have seen in 2022 people reaching good scores, and that can be done in terms of just minimalizing, like, your mistakes and going through the question papers, giving a number of mock tests, which improves your in terms of, like, your time consumption. One of the most important things. I will tell the skill set that you need to see a question and immediately solve the reasoning part of it. These are certain things. Now, okay, so this like time you are expecting around 140, 145. Arya is clapping, like, so what are you expecting, Arya?
So I literally don't have any number. I am just expecting it above 100 because I don't know about
actually, considering that, like, okay, you have done a self-study and you just joined here, I guess 4 or 5 days before exam, right? But see, 100 still, I feel like, I don't know, because I have seen students over the years who just tell that, sir, I don't know, like, 100, this, that, and during the result they get such a huge score. So are you falling in that category, or are you really, like,
not really, because I don't know that just because I don't know my answers, because this time it's not partial marking in principle of designs.
No, there is no partial marking.
Yeah, so I'm just a bit worried in that. But I have done good in 45-second questions and mathematics as well. The English was really easy, not like easy, but yeah, it was.
We have a lot of time before third attempt, and that's why I feel like we can improve. So now I can see quite a few people are watching us live on YouTube. Just for you too as well, for the people watching live on YouTube, because I know after today again we will receive a lot of calls that are, like, people, the executives, or I will receive direct calls also myself, and we will receive a very simple question. I would like to clarify that over here at once. 2 attempts, if you have given, or if you have not given and just written 1 attempt, doesn't matter. Like, at this point of time, just what I will tell is that you give the 3rd attempt, because we are always considering, like, the probability where we might, like, get less marks in 3rd attempt, and hence our average decreases. But if we should always consider the other fact wherein our 3rd attempt goes more good, because we are having a lot of more skill set, a lot of more knowledge, a lot of more practice to the 3rd attempt, and hence the score might improve in 3rd attempt, and our average score also improves. So if you are having an opportunity, take it. Until and unless you have scored above 160, 170 or something like that, take the opportunity of 3rd attempt, go for it, give it a chance, and see, like, but in your mind, it shouldn't be like, that no, I will score less, I might score less. This thing shouldn't be there. Your target should be, no, I will score more, definitely, I will score 180 plus, and hence my average comes to this. If I reach of that, now if it doesn't happen, there is always, like, everyone is not going to be the topper, or everyone is not going to get admission in the best college, right? It's a normal fact. Like, when people do ask us also over here, sir, what are your highest scores? I guess during the admission of you guys also, I have told the same thing. We never tell you the highest scores, because we don't rely on the highest scores. We talk about the average, what an average student can get. because highest scores are scored by, if 500 students are studying over here today, highest score can be or like, reached by max to max 50, max to max 60 students. But then what about the 440, 450 students? They're getting average score. So we talk about that if you practice, if you do these things in a certain way, there is a certain procedure, there is a certain set of things that you need to learn, your determination, and finally your implementation in the exam, your results will be decent, your results will be good enough to get admission into a good college. Never like, you will get the best score or you will get the best college. Cannot really happen, because there are like, everyone is looking for the best and everyone cannot get the first position. As simple like, in a race, there will be first, second, third, fourth, and it will go on. Similarly, it's a race and people are running. So you need to like take that as a fact. Now, coming back to you guys again, like, what all things you want to share, starting with Sneha again, today's exam, what all things you want to share, starting from morning, what was your like things going on back at your head? What are the kind of questions? If you remember some sort of questions, you can discuss that over here now.
Yeah, for the like morning, like it was good. The paper was good. Like first question, which we had practiced, that question. There was like many roads to that place, and we were told to find the aeroplane which goes to Paris or something like that. That type of question had come. Like we have been given a ABCD, and there were like strings, and one tap was there in the bucket. So we had to find like which tap is the water, from which tap the water is going in the bucket.
Which
So that
tap
was
is
the first question.
Okay, so the
Yeah,
questions
that
were,
one.
I guess, because both of you are talking about the same question from two other places. So I guess we are kind of similar. Something else that you guys remember?
Yeah, there were many.
Yeah, then
I think we both gave a same paper, morning shift.
here in
One by one. We have one area like this. You guys can go ahead. Talk
Yeah.
about the people.
So there were questions like they have shown some pictures, and they have given 4 options and identify the object which was of following. So there were like 2 to 3 questions based on this format. So one was what was that? That was what, chisel something, or it's a wood cutter or tile setter, something like that question.
there was one equipment, and we were given option. It was like a wooden kind of thing.
Thing.
It had a holder or something. What did
Holder,
you
yeah.
have? I was confused in that one.
Yes, and I also clicked it as chisel.
Chisel, I also did that one only because that one seemed more. And then the like the question which made me happy was that there was one logo of this A and D in bold letter. The moment I saw it, I was like, I know this. That was the logo of the, yeah, I follow that thing on. So I knew that one, and I was happy that time. Like, and then the questions were also easy. And for like usually we have math first, like first 15 to 10.
This time what you had, it was math itself or something like something else?
Like the first questions were like different,
I guess
like
we
general
have an
knowledge.
issue in network. You can recheck. You're on mute right now. Please try to speak.
Can you like hear me now?
Yeah, you are audible. Sometimes it's breaking. You can continue. You can continue.
So the first few questions were regarding general knowledge or the like aptitude thing. And then later maths questions started, and in between there were physics. Like the math questions started after the English section.
Yes, it was like perfect blend. Like they have just given everything really good that they should shift from aptitude to mathematics to English to again physics, and then again mathematics. They have put it mathematics question everywhere, like all throughout the paper, so that you get
5 to 10 questions. There were math questions or physics questions.
There were many questions on based on volume and volume.
Yes.
Sphere to
All
cylinder.
the questions, the most of the questions were like
First 15 to 20 questions from I have to tell PCM because that's the syllabus, but chemistry questions I guess were again nil. There was no chemistry questions at all. So first 15 to 20 questions were itself from your this physics and mathematics. Is it the same pattern or there was a change?
No. Like they were
more mathematics questions.
More mathematics, but no, the pattern went the same way, Sneha, or it was different.
The first 10 questions, they were of general aptitude, or what we say, the logo, identify the logo, and then bucket. Those were that kind of questions. And after that, English section was there. Then again, few questions of math. Then again, aptitude and architectural aptitude. Then again, math. Then again, few questions, and then physics, like this.
Physics and maths, like there were many less questions.
Now this is the reason, so first attempt we have seen the paper. Last year also we have seen the paper, but intentionally, the first mock test which you guys gave, I hope you have noticed that questions were not in the the format or the pattern was not the same how you were supposed to get it. Like how you supposed how you got it in your first attempt of this year and last year's paper also, which I have shown it to you guys. The pattern was not the same. Pattern was first maths, then physics. It went in a particular format. Now, why we intentionally changed it, because when you solve something in a certain way, then your brain gets trained in that manner. For example, if you have seen when you guys used to do this in 9th, 10th standard, small books of maths were there and chapter wise you used to solve questions. So when you used to know the theory, the logic of one particular chapter, how to solve those questions, and in exercise you used to get that same questions, like you already know this chapter is percentage, I am solving questions of percentage. Things were much better, but when in exam those things were like jumbled up, somehow or the other you felt that this is going wrong, or so this kind of thing has happened. So hence a change this pattern is also required to face any sort of uncertainties like this, that if the pattern is changed, if there is something coming.
The questions these are arranged like in today's paper, the questions are arranged in such way that makes paper difficult. That is paper difficult, Then there were many questions like what is the logo of there was some logo given and you have to identify which of the college it has. That was in blue color. I don't know which one's logo was it. Maybe
blue color.
Even frankly speaking, I might also not have been able to identify which college logo is something very uncertain actually. Never know a college logo, and it is an indirect marketing of that college. Let's not take if you guys have answered, but I don't know why architecture is giving such.
Guwahati and something like that, and we can't remember such logos because they almost look same in circle and with three of them.
Logo, brand logo, these are noticeable things, but college logo, who knows? You never know a college. For example, if you are from Maharashtra today, you will never know a college which is located in Telangana. It's very uncertain, right? Okay, fine. I will come back to you guys. I see Karthik has joined the session. Karthik, am I audible to you? Please turn on your camera. Karthik, am I audible to you? Please turn on your camera and turn on your mic. We need to have a face-to-face discussion regarding how the exam went for you and all. Okay, Karthik, no issues. If you are going to home and if you are in a car or something or in a bus, it's absolutely fine. We can speak in that manner also. I will keep you short for the session. You will be here for 10-15 minutes. Just discuss what was your experience. How did it go for you? You can turn on your camera and mic in the bus or car, however you are traveling. Not at all a problem. Karthik, I guess you can hear me. So if you please can turn on your video. Turn on your video, Karthik, so we can see you. Okay. You are traveling in what? This is bus. Karthik, I am audible? Yeah, you are traveling in bus, right? Karthik, am I audible? Just speak freely. You are in a bus, you have given an exam, you have not done anything wrong. So you can't hear me, okay? Then it's not I cannot do anything. Just increase your volume, see if you can hear me. We can have a quick discussion, and hold the camera straight to your face. The light behind you is reflecting. Hold the camera straight. Can you hear me? Can you hear my voice? I guess yes. Otherwise, how could you have answered me? Karthik, you can please talk about how the exam went for you. Exam experience. Karthik, am I audible? Don't answer in chat box. No one can see in chat box. You need to talk here so everyone who is in this, they can know that okay how the exam went for you.
Nice, sir.
Yeah, so I guess you can hear me now. Turn on your camera and speak, and put the phone like this. Hold the phone like this in front, so your face is properly visible.
So when I come, so when I on camera, the phone away from.
Okay, no issues. See, my question is how the exam went for you, and what was your experience? How much marks you are expecting? These three questions.
Maths portion become weaker.
Huh?
Maths portion sir weaker था.
हाँ, so उसमें बात करेंगे. आप एक काम कीजिए. आपने मेरा क्वेश्चन समझ लिया, राइट? You got my question. तो अभी अपना कैमरा ऑन कीजिए और आप you can talk. Okay, I will not ask you anything in between. मैं बीच में कुछ नहीं पूछने वाला हूँ. आप कैमरा ऑन करके आप खुद बात कीजिए. So सबको पता चले how the exam went for you, what all was there and all.
सर फिर मुझे आपकी आवाज नहीं आएगी.
नहीं, मैं बात ही कुछ नहीं करूंगा ना. You can just talk. I am asking only you to talk. I am not asking you anything in between. आप बस बताइए आपका एग्जाम कैसा था अभी कैमरा ऑन करके, so that everyone can see you, because without camera it's not a proper thing. Just tell how was your exam, that's all. कार्तिक बस एग्जाम कैसा गया वो बताइए, that's all.
What sir?
एग्जाम कैसा गया बस वो बताइए, कैमरा ऑन करके अपना एग्जाम कैसा गया. You can just talk about that real quick.
The math portion तो weaker था, बाकी इस डिजाइन प्रिंसिपल वाले क्वेश्चंस तो सारे करेक्ट है. एंड सिलेक्ट तो सर हो जाऊंगा, पास हो जाऊंगा इसके अंदर.
ओके, तो मार्क्स कितना एक्सपेक्ट कर रहे हो?
More than 100.
More than 100. Acha. So we need to improve in the third attempt. This was your first attempt, fine, but we need to improve in the third attempt. Give a lot more attention to how we can improve things and all. And you are telling 100, but I am expecting around 120 as far as what you have told, or the exam, how the exam went for you.
Yes,
as far as
more than 120.
120.
More than 120, yes sir.
So see right now more than 120. These kind of jumps are very much unexpected. So people will not be able to understand what are these people talking about. Talk about 1 mark, tell that okay, this is what I am expecting. Now if obviously we are all human beings, so might be your expectation doesn't meet, but that is nothing to be ashamed about, right? So more than 120. So within 120, I am not keeping a huge range. 120, 130, decent score. Anyways, Karthik, I guess you can exit the session. You can reach back home. And if possible, by the time if the session is still going, you can connect us back. I don't want to keep you engaged while in a bus. So that's all, Karthik. Thanks a lot for joining in. Okay, so he was in the afternoon session, guys. So he joined a bit late, but it's quite surprising actually. I guess exam center was quite far, because from 2:30 to 5:30 was the exam for afternoon shift. It's 8:30 now. Or might be he went to somewhere else, Domino's or something like that. So let's talk about in between, that for next attempt, what do you guys think how the preparation should be going in terms of you're preparing here, you are for your own self-study back at home, what you are going to do, or the other people also who are going to study, you being a kind of person who is already having an experience in giving the exam, you have written 1 or 2 attempts. What do you think how the preparation should go on? Leaving aside that, okay, you are preparing at over here, classes are going on, there are things going on over here. But apart from that, for your own purpose, for your own self-study, how do you think that study should go ahead? Or if you have any suggestions for us also, you can talk about that. Sneha, Arya, anyone can start.
Yeah, so I wanted like we should focus on more that architectural style, because it is the questions we don't have the proper answer, and we don't know what to do, and it came for 2 marks, so it carries like many of weightage, and also for preparing it we have to go through like vast syllabus, so we must work on that.
Okay. What do you mean by architectural styles? Can you just quickly tell me?
Architectural styles means the questions in aptitude, like the logo questions, which we are like not aware. There were the questions like the buildings in which you have to go through the architectural style, like which was it, like Reeb style and some.
Okay. I guess if I'm not wrong, Sneha, she is talking about the history of architecture, the different kinds of a timeline which we have talked about, Gothic architecture followed by your Roman
Yeah, there
architecture.
were questions on Gothic architecture too. Yep.
Yeah, we are given one structure of Gothic architecture, like
Then
Gothic
Greek
style.
architecture. What are the specifications of Greek style? Then
No,
Roman
no, no.
style
Didn't
followed by
use
Baroque.
that thing.
These things, I guess, right? So
Yeah.
what
Yeah.
question did came today? Can you just tell me that? Like if you remember something out from there that okay, this particular question came, this is what was being asked over there.
We have to guess the sector, like you got it, Sneha, the segment sector and the ribbed one or something sector. Yeah,
Uh,
bridge.
there was one arch, and we had to identify the type of arch. It was rampant arch.
Yeah.
Okay. So I guess regarding arch, we discussed a bit in short, like that okay, the most one of the important things which quite frequently comes we have seen is the Gothic arch. That's quite famous. And regarding arch and vault, I guess I discussed with you guys difference between arch and vault. Now rampant arch was also there. Now see, these are very like minute things that we need to go in detail, and very frankly speaking, both of you understand for that we need really a good amount of time, right? So before third attempt, we have a plenty of time. Now our part is that to learn a set of new things and to revise the old set of things which we had earlier, right? Because like Sneha joined, still comparing that both of you have joined late, but still Sneha joined quite a few times, like weeks back before Arya joined. Arya, you have just joined 5 days before exam. Yeah. So like this is the one of the most important things, like that why over here we do start with like one-to-one sessions initially in the beginning. Now, when you catch a phase, for example, Arya, you have joined and you have got a phase, and like you're good to go right now. And since we are going to revise a set of things, it's fine. But otherwise, this is the like simple problem that many people don't understand. That like once you join somewhere, there is no institute, there is no place who can like start a very batch that next day, like when you join. It is never possible. This is a real fact. Now, when you call ring some institute and ask them, they might tell you that we are going to start something tomorrow. But that's just like, no, like, very nonsense or a very vague reply, which anyone does. So that is one of the most important places, or like, stuff where we feel that any student, whosoever is joining, we should start with one-to-one session, because we don't know what is your situation. And you guys will be like, quite surprised that still today, if some of you people watching live on YouTube, if you score 100, 120, which I'm talking 100, I will not tell it's a very good score, but 100, anything above 115, 120, 130 is a decent one. At least 115 is really expected. I got a few calls, okay, in this time period. So say videos are being uploaded, there are sessions going on, like, calls are coming up, someone is texting, there are lots of mails coming up. Usually we get it in terms of like, either WhatsApp text, Instagram messages, normal direct calls, mostly maximum amount of reach, like people reach us via calls. I will not name anyone, definitely that will be really not okay. But there are 2-3 students who have reached us, even very like, I'm really sorry to say, I'm not humiliating anyone over here, but a guy called me today morning around, let me check the time. If I'm not very wrong, somewhere around, just hold on a second. Today. 9:10 a.m. he has called me. And like, he asked me regarding that, sir, is there pen and paper drawing in NATA? This was his first question. So like many students who feel that like, I have not done anything, my result is going to like bad in some extent, always think that, yeah, I have to definitely reach a height because there is no limit to sky. But also there are lots of people below me. So I am standing at a certain position, which there are lots of people who have not reached yet. So I will try my best, but there is nothing to compete with. There is no one else to compete with other than myself to get a better result, right? So this is also the kind of situation that we have seen over the years. And today this guy called and he was like, so I told him that, see, we cannot really, we definitely try, though you join a course, you don't join a course, we try to help you out over call, over a normal session. If there are any open sessions, we try to help you out in a maximum way, just to give you an understanding, because exam, we feel it's a right for everyone to give the exam and to have a sort of right knowledge. Now over here at this point of time when you have called, see, first of all, there is no pen and paper drawing in NATA. Absolutely know this from after 2019, there was nothing like that. And like frankly speaking, right now the most and the best important thing would be, I just gave him the opportunity to have a look through this year's first attempt paper that was uploaded in the free study material section today itself morning. Particularly for him and one more girl who reached another half an hour after him. So we told them that this material will be open till today evening. You guys can go and this in the free study material section, check out this year's first attempt paper. I know like it is never possible to solve it out. Just go through the questions, brush up, and see that what are the questions they, are coming up. After that, we can think about your third attempt preparation and how things can be improved. But right now, the situation which you are in, I don't have a word to say, because there is nothing like if I tell you that, okay, you remember this is how you should solve design principle questions, or this is how you should solve this kind. You are not actually aware about what is going to come. So there is no point in discussing that, what is going to happen. Okay, other most important thing, we have just 1 week scheduled one free test 2 days before exam, not 1.5 days before exam. Test was held, I guess, from day before yesterday, late evening, around 7 o'clock. You opened that mock test, and the mock test went till today, I guess, yesterday around 11 o'clock night. This was the time for which approximately 1 day, few hours, the test was open, right? So in this time period, we have got around a bunch of students, 5 to 7 students reaching us. We have suggested them all, if you're not aware about the pattern, if you're quite confused, go and give this mock exam. You will get an idea about the question pattern. Now, out of that, the marks that we have got, after they have given the exam, that for you guys also, we received the marks, you also received the marks. So it's quite surprising that most of them have not been able to got the passing marks as well, which is 70 out of 200. And one of the parents I spoke with, that student, her mother's, her mother I spoke with directly. So her mother's reply was, my daughter is saying the kind of questions that, these people who have asked us to solve this mock paper, we have written that. And the kind of questions you have given, my daughter is saying these are not the kind of questions that are going to come. There is no drawing question, there is no aptitude question in terms of this thing. So I told what your daughter is talking about from a book or so, that is a particularly that is for JEE paper to BR. NATA is having a difference there. And she was like, oh, okay, I am not really aware about that. And they were quite surprised to hear that, okay, NATA paper pattern is this. So there is also these kind of situations. Now to avoid these things, I would just definitely suggest anyone watching live on YouTube, or friends of yours, friends of both of you people over here, people watching live, if you have any suggestions, if you have anything about in mind that this guy who called in morning, he was like, I have thought about architecture from my 11th standard itself, but I didn't knew NATA was there. Today is 3rd of June. Anyone watching this, I think at least for this particular YouTube video, we will get around, just this is on our expectation how the views goes, minimum approximately around 1 to 2K views. Say all of these people who are at least watching, you and the prospective person whom you are in contact with and is going to write the 3rd attempt or is going for the next attempt exam, make sure however you prepare, you are willing to join over here at Design Teenage for your preparation. You want to prepare of your own. There is no harm in preparing of your own. Because in today's modern time, there are so much resources, you can, but there is a systematic procedure with lots of students fail, and at this certain age, it's really hard until and unless you have passed through a certain set of exams or you are a little bit more experienced. So the thing is that at this point, however you are preparing, my suggestion is take tomorrow 4th of June as your day one and prepare till 4th of July. This 30 days time is a very crucial time. Set up a time schedule for you. What are you going to prepare? How are you going to take it forward? Then there is 5 days remaining. These 5 days, practice as much as mock as possible. Now, if you are preparing over here, you will be writing exams in our live exam portal. Exactly same user interface at NATA. If not, then you need to find out resources from where you can get the paper. This is for everyone. This is the pattern I am talking about, how you should practice. And if you do this, I'm talking about with 100% dedication. There is no if and but to it. If you really do this with a lot of dedication, and I'm pretty 100% sure that any student who is writing this exam can get a good result. At least about 150 is a basic score that anyone can get, because NATA is not that kind of hard exam. If you have a bit of creativity, imagination, reasoning sense, NATA or JEE B.ARCH, these are not such exams where you need to start preparation from 9th, 10th standard, your this JEE NEET and all. Though I definitely never suggest that you start preparation from too early, because until and unless you are able to solve things which are at your school level, there is no point in looking for something above. Right? But for these exams, if you are creative enough, if you have the right knowledge, if you have the right amount of captivity in you, you can easily get that score. It is nothing that no, I cannot get, I am not that good student. There is nothing like that. If no one is a good student until and unless, right? The date when you get it, from that date you are a good student or you are a good performing student. So that's my suggestion. Now I want to take the reviews of Sneha and Arya over here on this. And I wanted in a bit descriptive manner, what are your thoughts about the preparation? I guess last Arya spoke, so I will start with Sneha. Or who spoke last, Sneha or Arya? I will start with the other person. Okay. So Sneha, you can just in a bit descriptive manner, if you can share your thoughts on this, just the point of discussion, what we had right now.
Like for the self preparation?
So not only for as a whole, the planning, the strategy for this upcoming third attempt. Over here, if you're preparing, so how you want it to be, not if actually when you are preparing, how you want it to be, what should be the planning and how we should move ahead forward, and what are your thoughts on the same? I have just discussed in a bit descriptive manner the whole thing. Now you can share your thoughts or your planning, because every person is having their own point of view, their own perspective, right? So I want to hear your thoughts, your thoughts particularly on this, and definitely in a bit descriptive manner, not in just 1 or 2 sentences. So it's pretty much understandable what's going out in your mind.
So I just wish for the first attempt, I could have studied a little bit also. If I could have done brushed up topics a week before also, then it could have been a lot of help. And math, actually, I really regret not doing maths for this attempt also. Also because maths I didn't pay much attention to it, and I lost marks, and the questions were very easy. I could have done it if I could have brushed up those topics. But maths, but then other than that, it was easy. The design principles, that is the design principle and the color theory, that is the most important topic, because the questions come more from.
I'm really sorry to interrupt both of you, but I give you guys a suggestion that you go for the paper and start solving 30 seconds question in the 45 seconds this year questions in the beginning. So what are your thoughts on that? Did you guys do it in the same way? If you did it help? Or if you didn't do it, then how did it help? Or if you have faced any challenges in doing it the way which we told, or the way which we did, if you can just describe about that a bit in short. Yeah, anyone can start. Don't wait.
Okay. So actually, it really helped. I go for it. I go with fresh mind and do it. Maybe if I haven't done it in that way, I would have lost that questions, because the paper I told you was the blend of mixture, and it took every time, every single minute in it after that. So it was really good.
Did you leave any question? Like, was there a time crunch due to which you had to leave some question? I guess nothing like that, right?
No, not like that. You don't have to leave, but you have to give time to the questions which are like for one marks, because such questions came like which have lengthy solutions and lengthy calculations, but carries 1 marks only. So there were many type of calculative questions in mathematics also. Then there were volume questions, as I told you. Then the questions was like 2-3 questions on color theory, and you know that top view and side view questions.
Yeah, absolutely. The projection questions where you have shown a figure and identify the plan or the elevation, those kind of questions.
Yeah, those the questions, that questions were like really less. Like I have solved previous.
That kind of question is more in JEE paper 2 we have seen. Over
Yeah.
here it's
So here
so,
3 questions.
Yeah. Okay. So now going back to like Sneha, like did that help 45? Did you do it first of all? 45 seconds question in the beginning.
So I firstly I started the paper as it was, but then 45-second questions, I think they are easy only. Like I solved it the way you said, but then I didn't start that first because I forgot it.
No issues.
I meant the way the paper
Yeah,
was.
section A is the very first thing you see it and you will go for it. But
And
now paper went good for you. Yeah, paper went good for you. It's well and good. Now for someone throughout those 115 questions, if the paper somehow or the other, like for Arya, she was kind of like having a bit of complex due to it. Thing goes in that way, then the kind of score 30 marks is definitely not a low score. The kind of marks that you would expect over there out of 30 will definitely deteriorate immediately, because that pressure, that tension, that thing back of the mind that I have not solved these many questions, this is the time that I have left, as told, that will happen. But still, if you have performed well, see, there is no nothing like a good technique to play a match, right? Or there is nothing a good technique that you should bat like this. If you can
only I'm used to solving the paper in a sequence as it is. So if I would have started that first, then I'm not used to that thing, So like
no issues. No, see, this was also in sequence. Section B, then section A. Anyways, that's fine. So as I was mentioning, there is nothing like a proper way or a proper technique to do batting in cricket match. If you can get runs without being out, then whatever technique you use, that becomes a kind of rule or law for the other people, or a benchmark for other people to do it, right? So that's how we do it, or that's how it should be. Now this is a normal suggestion for on an average student, where they kind of feel the problem that towards the end they can't really remember things out. So this is a suggestion for them. Now if you want to do it in your way, and if you feel that that really works for you, it's absolutely fine. You can take it in that way. So I guess we were discussing regarding going back to our old topic, that what are your suggestions on this? Yes, Neha, you are continuing, so you can continue from that.
Yes.
For
So
the
like
third
the technique which you told, like the elimination method, that was very useful. Like for the questions we didn't really knew the answers also. For that thing, the like elimination method was really good. Like I used that
always
method.
You don't have to the best the best use of that elimination method is that you never have to reach to the last point until and unless you are not very sure about the answer. That time, if for doing a cross verification, you need to find the right answer. Otherwise, the process of elimination helps you to find the right answer by eliminating the remaining options which you have. So for example, for this projection things, for those structures, while you are supposed to find the plan, if you can just compare and find out what are the differences between all these three general differences first. Now you try to compare with the correct one, that okay, if this particular object, like for this object which I have here as the question figure, if I see the top plan, then is this particular difference which is there in all these three and this one is like different, is it there or not? So as soon as you find that if it's there in that, and rest of these three things are not there, in these three things it is not there, and it is supposed to be there, automatically you need to look for the other options. Three are eliminated. In the other way around, if the rest three are having it and that one is not having, one is eliminated, next go to the other two. So this is for anything, for any sort of calculation, for any sort of questions. This is the best way to solve it. Yes, Sneha, you can continue. Sorry for the input.
Like quite quick. Like when I was solving mock test and all those things, I was I took a minute or more than a minute to solve the questions. I was solving before. So but then exam it took a few seconds only. Then I got the right answer.
Okay.
Like for the aptitude questions, we can solve very quickly by that method, and in other things also, like the design principles also, like you told, we have to eliminate the things which weren't there first. Like in the last paper I was like very confused. Till last moment I was changing my answers in that design principle thing, but then today it went like easy. Even though I was a bit confused, then I did it well. Now I don't know what the answers are, but I think I did it right. And in the 45-second questions, I think the last question was wrong. Like they had given a picture and there were like Taj Mahal, Hawa Mahal, and
Yes, that was
three
wrong.
more structures. Yes.
They
And
have
then there were
Yeah.
three.
What happened with that question? I didn't get it. Can you please repeat?
Like there was a 45-second question in the
Okay.
45-second section. There was this question where we had like a collage of different monuments in that Taj Mahal, Hawa Mahal, that uh, and 2 3 more structures they were there. And we there were 3 Taj Mahal, for example, 3 Hawa Mahal, and 4 5, like there were different number of structures. Later they asked us like the which one was least in the image, but then like the least one was not given in the option only. Like
Okay.
yeah, the Taj Mahal, Hawa Mahal, and other
See,
two
I informed
structures.
you guys earlier also. Now, if something is there like this, I told
Yes.
that there is no negative marking in NATA. Attempt whatever you, if you have some instinct about the option, attempt it. If you feel that nothing is correct, attempt any, go for any of the options. Because we have seen over the years in like NATA exam, there are questions 1, 2, which comes as like, which is a wrong question. And for that, if you have attempted, you get awarded the full marks. So definitely do go for it. So
Yeah, and
what did
there
you
was
do in that
another
question?
question also in design principle, like the balance was given twice in the
right.
options.
Yes.
Yeah,
Okay.
and the other we went for the dominating options, and
Mhm.
except for the balance, there was the other options, they were like too far from what was given in the
Yes.
picture. So that
Okay.
one was also like a bit, I guess it was wrong.
Bit problematic. Okay. Fine. So we
Yes.
are getting a question over here on the live chat. I would just like to address that in between. So why the drawing section is removed? Now, why it is removed? I'm really sorry that I cannot tell you why it is removed. Now, how it was removed, I can tell you the procedure because 2019 we had a certain pattern. And most importantly, first of all, I must tell that JEE keeps its pattern the same way. Now, I will not tell due to COVID because JEE took the exam after a certain point of time. They had the same pattern, sanitizer mask, and the paper was in pen and paper itself. That drawing question. But NATA from 2020 they had changed the pattern for the home-based exam. After that the pattern changed, and then the center-based, and from then itself, from 2020 itself, we have seen several changes in patterns, keeping the 2022 pattern, 2023 pattern comparatively close to each other, because the previous patterns were far apart from each other. And also speaking about what about the other years, 2019, 2018, 2017, 13, 14, if we go for those years, NATA or Council of Architecture, we have usually seen the paper pattern is changed. The number of times NATA takes an exam in history, like if I talk about 10 years back from now, 8 years back from now, the paper pattern was really different. There was once there was only maths question, once there was no PCM questions. So paper pattern always changes. NATA updates it in their brochure in general terms. Now, exactly how the pattern will be, for that we need to look in detail. Okay, until and unless we go for one exam, we are never sure how it's going to be. And coming to this fact, why drawing is removed? Why 2022, due to the COVID and all, first it was, after that continuously all the years this theoretical part of drawing is being introduced. Now, was this thing absolutely new that we have seen in design career exams? Absolutely not. We have seen the similar kind of questions, or questions which are kind of close to these things where we need to study design principle, color psychology, elements of design, visual principles. These chapters were always there, like, in like exams like NIFT, NID, UC. These exams, we have seen these kind of questions coming up and the similar syllabus where, like, which we have covered earlier. But in NATA from 2020, this is what has been continued. Until date, we are seeing the same. Until and unless there is a revised pattern or so, we cannot really tell, like, that if there will be something, because this is how NATA is taking the exam. And most probably for the next few years, this is how it's going to be. And I feel like, see, there is nothing like, that due to this less score is coming or so, because for everyone, there is an opportunity, or like everyone has their day. Might be someone is not that great at drawing. For them, it's a good thing, right? So why it is removed? Again, no answer for why. But there was a certain reason at that point due to which they have removed. So pen and paper, that contamination thing doesn't happen. That's the reason they cited. Now, after that, till date, why it is? Because that they want to keep it that way. And we have seen design career exams like, occurring in the same manner. That's it, I guess. I guess that's a pretty good answer to your question. So let's move ahead with Arya now. What are your thoughts on this? Like, that preparation for third attempt, that descriptive thing, what we have just talked about, Sneha has talked about. If you can just share your reviews on this.
Okay, so my simple strategy is like focusing on the things. The first thing is giving mocks. So give mocks and literally give the mocks which are best quality questions, which really comes to NATA or similar questions like that. So you can get the proper idea and good score, which will not keep you in the illusion of getting good score in mocks. And you can't score it in the real examination. So first of all is quality mocks, which you will provide me now.
You think we have the quality?
yeah, of course.
Okay, fine.
Yeah, at least,
you can always tell if there is any suggestions. You're always free to tell that this has to be improved, because you are coming over here. See, at the end of the day, it's all about your career ahead. So we are always open to take reviews and how we can improve, because we do believe that there is nothing like for example, this is our day one when we are starting with you guys. Just for example, I'm talking about. So like you for both of you, this kind of session, this kind of exam, it's this session and all these things, it's a day one for you guys, right? Now previous year who has given the exam, for them it was day one. Then the year back, then it was the day one for them. So they have given the suggestions as per as their thing. We have improved it and taken it to a mark in 2021. Again, we have improved and taken it to a mark for you guys. So whatever you guys give, again, we will take it forward to the 2024 students. And this has to go on, right? So until and unless there is a review, there is an interactive thing, no one will improve. And this is the very beauty, this is the very beauty of kind of democracy, I will tell. So why in our country still things do improve, or in any democracy things improve until and unless there is a dictatorship, because there is an opposition party who comes and tells that, okay, this is what is wrong and this is how it should be done. Now we know that only 10% things get done, 90% is going in dustbin, but still it gets done. Otherwise that 10% also we never expect. Over here it's not the same, I guess. What do you feel about that? I guess things get done on time, and you're getting the thing which you need for your exam. That's working out, right? So
I would like to mention very few people, they do what they promise. Like while on calls, they tell us 1,000 things, and then when we go into an institute or any class or something, they don't do that. But it's like an honest opinion, like every word you mention, like you would help out in everything. You did it all.
Yes.
Yeah, because
you
now Sneha will be very much in our favor or in our opinion. Now these things we are very open to share, because we don't want to keep anything hidden from the students, because see, at certain point we feel that you guys have the right to know that how things are going on, because there are certain, again, without naming anyone, certain people, certain institutes or so, they're just doing a business, they're in the market of doing a business. But at the same time, we completely understand all these things people are running to run their livelihood. This is the normal fact. Might be for someone it might sound like a vague word, but this is a normal fact. But at a certain point, we have a responsibility to our students as well. We are doing it for a purpose. Just same like a hospital or a medical organization, they cannot just tell that this is a business. They have certain responsibilities, without which that doesn't make any sense. just in terms of earning, like, after a certain point, people will know what you are actually doing. So over here also we have certain responsibilities, because through this, like, it creates a career for you ahead, that this will tell you that, okay, what will happen for the rest, like, 60 years of your life, let's assume, until and unless you are retired, right? So these are certain things. Now, Sneha actually reached us, I'd just like to share this, I guess, long back, around 7 to 8 months back, or might be even a bit, you reached, like, us or me, I haven't done.
First
Yes.
talk like August or September something. That time
August.
you told me ki like the classes would start in Diwali or something. After Diwali, after that also I reached you. Then I guess it was from December, starting from December or something.
So
And
what I
then
suggested you is
later,
that, like, initially, right now there is no point. Now, see, I will tell on clear on one thing on this fact as well. We do classes, we do take classes. There are students over here today itself. We have students, like, there is a foundation course we have. If you go and check our website, you will get a foundation course for students. They can join, like, towards the end of their 11th standard. For who are not still, like, sure about which course should we go for, NIFT, NIT, NATA, UCEED, which one, and what should be the career ahead. And there are parents who really insist. So for them, if you come and you insist us that no, we want to join, if not you, someone else, then we don't have any suggestion other to, like, tell you that, okay, then you join this, and this is how we are going to take it forward. And we do share it with everyone that right now we are never going to take anything related to the exam, because right now it will be a in general skill improvement. This will be kind of a co-curricular activity, followed by which you will get into the main course. At least, like, you can expect 5 months before the main exam, because that is what the absolute time was. Neha, also, I guess I told the same thing, that right now is not the right time, because it's still, like, there is no point in joining. You focus on your 12th, improve that, join back, like, after a certain time. Then I guess I told that, okay, no, it's been delayed a bit. This is when from we are going to start. Then I reached you, and then, like, due to your board exams and all, you were not pretty sure about that should I start now or how it should go ahead. And she was having some sort of issues as well. So due to which she joined a bit late. But this is what we should talk about now. If we are talking about the truth today, tomorrow, like, person will have the faith that no, if we reach this position, reach this people, like, or this certain person, will get the right knowledge, because that's what is like the most important thing over here. So today, like, as you mentioned that, now this is a fact we have seen. Again, really, like, it's not like I just don't want to mention the name in this aspect, but I don't know the name of such institutes, because people do come up and they are like, so this is what we have done. I don't know how many people has come up and told that, like, we want to join for third attempt, we want to join for second attempt, this, that, and all. And we have told them that, okay, this is how it's gonna be. And I just asked them, like, you are preparing somewhere. Some of them have told, yes, we are preparing this, but these are the problems, and this is how it's not going well and all. So some of them told them, no, I'm preparing somewhere, I want to go for something else as well, side by side, for a better improvement. And just like usually what I ask now might be for next year or after this for third attempt, if you're watching this video and coming for joining over here, you will be knowing. So I will ask a different question to you, or I will ask the other people to ask a different question. Usually what I ask is that, okay, have you learned design principle? I will tell yes or no. Then I ask that, okay, what is design principle? You'll give me you tell me something also in 1 or 2 words. After that, okay, what are the things? If you can tell 1 or 2, it's well and good. People start with balance. Or sometimes I do tell that, okay, one of the thing is balance. Now, have you got, yes, so we have heard symmetrical, asymmetrical, or symmetrical, non-symmetrical, someone told. I just ask, what is symmetrical balance? And I don't know, almost 1,000 times I have heard symmetrical balance is mirror image. And these are from those students who have learned somewhere this thing. So why this wrong message? Like, I would just like to address those institutes. If someone from there is coming up and you're quite interested in knowing that what is happening in the other institute, and how they are conducting sessions or so. Before that, I would like to tell you that please just, like, rectify these things. Patterns are being updated. If you can take, like, such a good amount of fees from students, why not, like, use some of it for the students itself, and to improve your mock papers, to improve the materials, to improve the, like, lectures which you have, to the latest things. Just try to have a bit of research. In today's time, Google does it all, right? So that's all in terms of a suggestion. Sorry for the interruption again. Sneha, Arya, you guys can continue. I'm really like, kind of shocked with these things at this today's position, that people still like, convey a very wrong message. I have seen institutes over the years who take admission of students right from 11th, like after the 10th standard, promise them that we will give each and everything till like, for you will not need to buy a single pencil. We will take you for study tours, and they charge a very good amount of fees. Like very good means in lakhs they charge. And I would like, I really don't know what is the use of study tools for the preparation of NATA. And what is the use of like, telling this or quoting this thing that you don't need to buy a pencil. Today, like, if we have sent you a courier or a welcome kit, though we don't send pencils or so in welcome kit, first of all, you guys have also received, you will know. So, okay, for Arya, she has not received it. I'm really sorry to say, because you have just joined now, you have not received it yet. When you continue for the third attempt, definitely you will receive it within a week, I guess, or so. Now the thing is that when you receive that, we never do send pencils or we never do commit anything like that, because when a student has like finished off the sketchbook or the pencil, how can we send them within a day? Or and it's never possible to take that burden over our head and tell that we will send you pencils. So these kind of commitments just to take admission, just to increase your business, is never like really good, and this will not help you out actually, because see, after a certain point student will lose faith, and that's what is happening. Like today you see that again, without naming in this engineering medical industries, like several institutes, there are billions of dollar industries in edtech companies growing up, but they are all loss-making startups. The simple reason is that because you're not able to retain your market, you're not able to retain your customers. Since you are not telling them the truth, you are just trying to convince, and lots of drama going on. I guess you guys also have seen some of them on YouTube and all. So just the simple thing is, right now we have a simple target. I also do like, sometimes crack jokes, and we have some discussion out of the box right now how we are having it. But our focus is to go for the exam, and that's all our one and only thing. Now it doesn't matter like, how a student joins us. If a student joins us like, with a fee of 1,000 rupees also, it's the same responsibility that I am having personally. What responsibility I am having for a student who has joined like, 5 months back paying a fees of 30,000, 20,000. The same responsibility I am having towards the student who has joined a week back, or like, at least 15 days back paying 2,000, 3,000 bucks. I cannot tell that you have paid less amount, so this is how it goes for you, right? Until and unless, definitely we have two sets of courses usually. One is a regular, one is a crash course. These are almost similar, just the time difference. Another one is self-study, where other than live classes, you get everything. So when we do commit to you something, like still like for Arya also, I guess I told that she joined here only for the mock test for this last 5 days, and then as far as the things how it will go, she will plan for a third attempt, and today she informed that I am continuing. That's what, like I guess Arya is your decision, right? If I'm not very wrong.
Yes, I'm continuing with.
Yeah. So that's the thing. Now, like that's what was the part. Like for Arya, now if she has just joined for the mock test, it doesn't make like the responsibility of ours that okay, we will just give her a call or ping her on message, or she will receive a notification. Okay, student, you have joined notification. You give mock test, don't give mock test. It's not our like headache, and we don't know what you should solve or not. This is how it shouldn't go. Whenever you are studying, like, or wherever you are going tomorrow in your days ahead, might be like like you will be going for your masters or so in the days ahead. We will be definitely connected, but at certain point might be you will be reaching somewhere out, or in your college also you will have certain studies. The very first like reach for a teacher or any for in this particular field, what I feel is that for anyone, irrespective of who you are, how you are, or what like how you have joined the course, it should be the same responsibility for everyone to take you forward. And considering our Indian education system, like as I have mentioned, and how Arya was telling that mock test, mock test, mock test. So practice, practice, and practice is what I tell. So how our education system or our like set of thing goes, or the exam pattern goes, we actually don't get really educated. So for example, right now what we are doing is that this crash course, these things, the very simple term for this is like training. Actually, you are doing a sort of training to get trained and perform well in the exam. Knowledge is the part. We are definitely trying to provide you the knowledge, hence you can understand. But more of it is towards the training part. You are getting trained, you are training your brain, you are training your activities in a certain way that you can perform better in the upcoming like match which is there. That's all a part about it, right? So definitely there will be mock test. Anything else as a whole, if you guys would like to share? I guess with that, we will conclude today's session, and then we can start our preparation from tomorrow itself as discussed. Your last words before we end the session.
Okay, so my thing is go for mock test, practice as many as questions you can, go for variety of questions, because no pattern is same in every paper. In NATA, of course, there is like no certain weightage. Go for principle and design questions, like you cannot miss it. And then minimize your mistakes, which will increase and make you a fruitful score.
Yeah, the very first thing which you should have said, or like I am adding to it, is that basics. If you don't have the clear concept of basics, then I will say that first 1 week take time, do rigorous amount of studies at that point of time, because it is going to lessen your burden in the upcoming days. Because without basics, you cannot move a single step ahead. That's the simple thing. Okay, I will go back to Sneha now. What are your thoughts on this? Or if your last words?
I think the material and the lessons which is there in classes, it's to the point. There's nothing I can think that it could be bettered. Only thing I think is after you teach the lesson and all that, we need something to practice,
in terms of a worksheet or in some sort of assignment.
Yeah, the homework sheet. I mean that thing. Design principles, if we get after you teach us how we had in balance. So if we get a sheet regarding that, then we might remember it for a longer period of time also, and we will get used to the questions coming in the exam.
Yes. What we can do for our upcoming attempt is that we will definitely revise design principle, visual principles once again. Then we will set a paper, not a paper actually, so it will be random compositions, at least 20-25 composition sheet we will give you, and you will just have to mark write down. Actually there will be no options. Write down respective to each of the questions, that which are the four most important visual principles you can recall in that composition. I guess that's what will do more of a betterment in terms of you can recall the name, you can understand how you can relate it to, and more of I will tell that after that we can discuss that, okay, if it's really present or not, or what is dominating over what, right? I guess that works.
Yeah, that was exactly what I meant. And you call us if we don't submit our assignment, so we also do it with responsibility. And we remember that it's good, we need that. We are in the age in which we have phone in hand, and then we don't even remember what we were thinking, and we are just scrolling reels. Then you call, then I really wasn't consistent with my study, but then I you called me, what happened, you didn't join the lecture, and then I became responsible and consistent. It's you are
is required, and it's very good to hear that you have at least understood that part, that okay, that is there. So once you understand that, it's really easy for you to overcome and take it forward. That's the whole point. Anyways,
friendly mentor. So we can speak to you and without any fear, and you're not being harsh. And
don't take me as a mentor. You can take me as a senior, or a kind of senior friend kind of yours. So that's what I tell to usually my students. So you should have that openness in terms of discussion. If you have a problem tomorrow, that okay, sir, or usually call me sir. So I guess that is how you are addressing me. I'm just taking it, though I'm telling friend, but that is how you guys are supposed to address me, or you guys actually do. So sir, I am facing this problem. Once you are so able to open up and discuss that, it will be more easier for me also to solve it out, and okay, this is what the problem you are facing. So let's take it forward in this way. Because see, if you're just here for the studies and we make it that professional, again it becomes a hard for students to really share. And if we have so many students, right, so if we don't we can leave it like that, okay, why should we keep a track of what Sneha is doing, or what is happening in Arya's personal life, or why she is not able to attend the class. But once we are able to interact at that certain zone, the benefit is that you are able to open up and discuss, and we are able to provide you a solution that, okay, let's take it in this way. And then the final result, the outcome is actually good. So yeah, I guess that's all. Like, anything else you want to talk about?
No, that's it. And
Mhm.
like I would mention, you are like really honest with your work, and that's what, like, today my paper went good. That was only because of you, because I had that in me ki, like I was good in studies, but then I had lost that consistency and that thing, and you gave me a moral support also. I must mention that that was really needed. Someone needed to believe in us when we are like falling apart. And then I started, and I followed whatever you said, and I wasn't really too much into it, but then you made us do the things. Like when I wasn't using that elimination method, you were like behind me. Use that method, you were not using that method. So it was like really helpful.
Okay, good to hear that. Good to hear such lovely words. Now, I guess it's already 9:25, so we will end the session. I also don't really have anything to say today other than to everyone, like one and everyone over here in the YouTube live session. Please make sure you go and take a good rest. Wake up tomorrow morning, go for a good movie, either at your home or at Inox or at PVR. Again, not quote unquote. I'm not here to do the publicity of any of these brands. These are usually famous. You have something better, go for that. Go to watch a good movie, and then let's start in a slow process, for the first 2 3 days in a bit slow process, less pressure, and then going into the intense mode once again. And why I'm talking about this movie suddenly in between while ending the session, because take rest, and after that our minds is relaxation, and that is the one thing which actually I feel kinds of relaxes me. I actually do watch a lot, so I guess that's the best way to relax out your mind. If you have something else in mind in a short span of time, you can do that, but make sure you're well relaxed and get you're well enough ready in a certain zone that you can now I will say you can boost up for the upcoming attempt. Within a month we will start our preparation. We will go the best way. We will make the hell and heaven same and try to get our target or achieve our target of 160 to 180. That will be our benchmark, and let's see how well we can take it forward. But again, when I tell that that will be our benchmark, necessarily doesn't mean that if we cannot achieve that for any one of you, there is nothing to be disheartened. Your life is not ending here, as I always tell. You have a lot more years to live, and this certain marks after 20 years from now, no one will be asking you about that. That time you will be just asked about how much do you earn and what's your bank balance. That's the truth. So with this, we will end the session over here. That's all, guys. See you all in the upcoming sessions. Thanks a lot to Sneha and Arya for joining us in this session. Thanks a lot to Karthik as well, who joined in between left. This was a short session with just a few of our students. And moreover, I would just like to say a thanks to all the students who have been here with us in the live session. If you have any doubts, you can connect us via the contact number provided in the description box. Website is available to you. Our app is available on Play Store. Download it, check it out. Let us know what are your thoughts on our institute, how we can improve it out, what all reviews you do have about us. Our Google page link is also available. Make sure you do rate us, and alongside of that, do connect us for any sort of help which you need till the preparation of your exam and post-exam your college admission guidance. We will be there from Design Teenage, or Design Teenage will be there with all of you till the day you are not admitted in college. That's our promise. With this, I would like to conclude this session. Thanks a lot, guys. Thanks a lot for being in this session. A very good night to you all. Yeah, bye.